I think it's kind of known by now that time travel has on occasion been the bane of my existence. But at the same time, it has also been one of the most interesting mechanics of any series to talk about and explain how it all works. And Family Guy, believe it or not, for how big a part it has played in the series, is actually very straightforward. So this is Family Guy's time travel explained. And before we get into all that, guys, I'm trying to hit 1,100 subscribers by April. We're probably definitely going to hit it before that. So what I would like to ask for is like maybe we can hit 200 subscribers by April, because I'm pretty sure that probably by the time this video comes out, we should have gotten extremely close to 1,100. And if we're right there, we might as well just keep going until we hit 1,200. So if you guys could help me out with that, it would be much appreciated. Also, I just want to throw this one out here that this is all of the methods of time travel explained, and the next Family Guy video that comes out from me on this channel will just be all of the time travel episodes, so you guys know where to go to watch them. So we have two methods of time travel in Family Guy, and they both come down to the same type, and that is what I like to call plastic time travel. This means that your presence in the past won't change anything, but if you change or interfere with the past, it will directly change the future you come back to. There is also some predestination, but I will get to that when we get there, and this time travel can create alternate universes that may or may not go away if you fix the change to the past. But Family Guy does have a multiverse, so they could also just still be out there, just somewhere in the multiverse. But the first method of time travel we're actually going to talk about is actually just straight up machine time travel. This is the first method of time travel we see in Family Guy, and we actually see it in Season 1, Episode 3, Mind Over Murder, where Stewie makes a time machine so that he can skip the pain of teething. Now, this time machine can bring you forwards and backwards in time, but it will just fast forward or rewind time as far as you want it to, and we see it work when Brian uses it to reset the entire events of the episode. Then the time machine actually ends up changing the future when Peter falls on it and breaks his leg, making it where nothing in the episode ever actually happened. But for some reason, it didn't get Meg out of being tied up in the basement, so not sure what that actually means there. But then in Season 4, Episode 26, Stu and Stewie's Excellent Adventure, or Stewie's Untold Story, depending on how you actually watched it, when Stewie meets Stu, his future self, we find out that 30 years in the future, people go on vacation in the past using time machine wristwatches. They have strict rules that won't mess anything up, but Stewie ends up breaking them when he uses the watch to get home. He stops Chris from getting married and then prevents a life-changing event from happening when the lifeguard tower nearly falls on him. Although this actually might have set up the future events anyway when Meg hears the name Ron and likes it, because Meg in the future had a sex change operation and he was now going by Ron in the future, and that's when present Meg first learned that name. Now, the watch is only good for 2 trips, then it will run out of power and it can't be used again, so it can get you from the future to the past or from the past to the future in order for you to get home, or you can go from the future and make 2 stops in the past, but then you're stuck wherever you stop at the second time. Also, as of recording this, it is 2025. Stewie's Untold Story came out in 2005, and the TV episode premiered in 2006. So we're actually getting pretty close to where Family Guy should theoretically say that time travel watches are going to exist. So comment down below, if you could time travel for vacation, where would you go? But then in Season 7, Episode 3, Road to Germany, is the debut of the first time machine Stewie built. And I mean his actual time machines, not the little goofy calculator thing he threw out together in Season 1. We find out Stewie had it. When Mort accidentally uses it thinking it was a bathroom, we find out that Stewie made it when he was bored with his European fiancé. Then they have to go and get him from the start of World War II. This time machine can send you forwards and backwards in time whenever you want to go. However, we only have one instance of it being used to go to the future, with Stewie going forwards in time to Christmas to get discount prices, but In order to get back, you have to use the return pad. Now, the return pad was originally powered by uranium, but due to the events of this particular episode, Stewie updates it to use regular batteries. The return pad acts like the time machine, taking you forwards and backwards in time, and can actually be used independently from the time machine, like we see in Season 21, Episode 15, Adoption, when Stewie uses it so Brian and him don't have to listen to Lois. It sort of makes you wonder why he needs the big time machine in the first place, though. And also, as I mentioned, that there is a little predestination in the Family Guy time travels, and that is because Stewie actually created the universe in Season 10, Episode 12, The Big Bang Theory, by shorting out the return pad in order to get him and Brian from outside of time when they break the time machine. So essentially, all of these steps leading up to Stewie and Brian breaking the time machine and being put outside of time had to happen in order for the universe to create itself. Now, anything after that is kind of like free will based, but everything leading up to that point always has to happen. So it's weird predestination things. But then in Season 10, Episode 23, Internal Affairs, Peter and Ernie the Giant Chicken use Stewie's return pad while fighting, going back in time to the Old West, then hitching a ride back on the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So that's apparently real events in the Family Guy timeline, and essentially meaning that the DeLorean is just another way to time travel. If you want to know more about the DeLorean, go watch Back to the Future. I'm not going to spoil it if you've never seen it. It is well worth the watch. 3 of the best time travel movies in history. So in Season 12, Episode 13, Chap Stewie, Stewie makes his third time machine in order to stop himself from being born, but he is then reborn into a new family. He also builds a rudimentary time machine in order to go back and stop himself from stopping himself from being born, so that way he could go back to his old family. And this actually erases this particular timeline, but he did build this time machine. And then in Season 19, Episode 13, P-Terminator, there was a cat. They use a portal gun borrowed from Rick and Morty to go forwards in time to 2060 to stop Brian from sending a Peter Terminator to kill Stewie. And this portal gun basically takes you forwards and backwards in time, even though Rick's portal guns can't actually do that, because Rick and Morty infamously don't like to deal with time travel in their thing. They literally shelved time travel forever and then did one closed loop episode, and they were like, that's the best we're getting to time travel. So why they decide to throw us in here, I don't know. Maybe just to remind us that Rick and Morty is canon to the Family Guy universe, and that's just a lot of fun. But that is finally it for machine time travel in Family Guy. Side note though, Meg knows Stewie has a time machine because it's loud, and she just actually doesn't say anything ever. So I wonder why they never just throw Meg into some of the time travel stories. But the other form of time travel within Family Guy is actually what I like to call death time travel. And Death does this in 2 separate ways. In Season 3, Episode 6, Death Lives, Death takes Peter's soul through time to relive moments from his and Lois's marriage in order to teach him a lesson. Using this method, you can't really change anything or touch anything or do anything. All you can do is observe what is going on in the past. But then in Season 5, Episode 18, Meet the Quagmires, Death lets Peter go back in time to have a chance to get the wild out, essentially, from him just kind of feeling bored as a husband and stuff. He just wants one day to relive his youth. And so Death pretty much gives him the chance to do this. But he actually flakes on Lois while he's in the past, causing them to not be married and Lois to be married to Quagmire. Now, using this method, Death can send you back in time for 1 day, possibly longer, but we don't really know. But he can pretty much let you relive that day as many times as you want. But if you change anything, it will directly affect your future. And that's pretty much it, guys. Every method of time travel in Family Guy and how it works. And please subscribe and turn on the notification bell for my next Family Guy video, which will just be pretty much every time Stewie or anyone else in Family Guy has used time travel. And while you're down there, guys, please let me know if I missed any form of time travel that we've seen in the show. And did you guys know about all of these types of time travels in the show? And also, while you're down there, guys, please remember to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you never miss another video from me. And I will see you in the next video.